I was ranked 1 million ahead of Game Week 10 and now I'm 77k. I'm going to try and keep up that hot streak. In this video, I'm going to reveal my team. I'm going to tell you the best players to buy in each position, and you're going to get to see the best fixtures for attackers and defenders. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future team selection videos. Triple Arsenal defence paid off yet again. Raya's got 2 returns in the last 3 game weeks. Timber's got 3 returns in the last 3 game weeks. Gabriel's also got 3 in his last 2, but unfortunately he wasn't available to play this game week. Vestergaard stepped in. He was 1 minute away from a clean sheet. He got a 59th minute substitution and I got 1 point instead of 6. I'm not sure on Gabriel's availability whilst this video is being recorded. It is before Arsenal's press conference, but I highly doubt we'll get any key information from Arteta. He does bluff and double bluff quite a lot. Either way, I'm going to be keeping the Arsenal defence. There's 2 easy fixtures in the next 6 and 4 average ones. There's none difficult. There's absolutely no reason why I should be selling any Arsenal defenders. Personally, I think that the best defence to target right now, if you're going to make a defender transfer, I'd bring in Timber. I think Raya's still a great option if you can afford him. I think he's going to be the highest scoring goalkeeper, but when it comes to points per million, I do tend to go for the 4.5 mil goalkeepers. It's just that I had that extra money in the bank. If you've not got that money in the bank, I would personally go for Kepa from Bournemouth. As you can see on the screen, they've got amazing fixtures and I do expect a couple of clean sheets in there. There were doubts over Trent's fitness and I did take that risk. That didn't quite pay off. However, he did get subbed on and got 2 assists. Therefore, he got a decent amount of points for a defender. And that is the reason I did buy him. Not only because he plays for a decent defence, but because his attacking stats are so promising for a defender. And of course, he had that budget to eat up. Obviously, with me only just buying him, I don't have any plans to sell him. There is one difficult fixture coming up in Game Week 17 against Spurs away. I might possibly bench him. I could either bring in Brentford's defender against Forest at home or Leicester's defender against Wolves at home. They're favourable fixtures. It's just they're not the best of defences. I don't want either Vandenberg or Vestergaard to step in this game week. I do think Brentford's defence is better than Leicester's, which is why Vandenberg is first. To be fair, they've both got the home advantage, but they still both play for poor defences and they are facing decent attacks as well. I think you'll be surprised that I'm currently considering benching Isak this game week against Brentford away. Obviously that's a decent fixture, but for me, with him playing 90 minutes in the last match and Wilson starting to build his fitness up, he is bound to get some rest in the near future, sooner rather than later, because of course he played 90 minutes in the last match and it is the congested schedule. Something that backs that up is that he only featured for 21 minutes in Game Week 13, which was a few days before the last match, and then this is a few days later again. Surely he'll see some rotation. Obviously that is such a bold call. I really don't want to bench Isak, but you'll see soon that my other 7 attackers are very strong this game week as well. Fabianski's on the bench against Wolves at home. I don't think that's a bad fixture because Wolves' attack is so bad in terms of XG. Yeah, they've been converted it, but that's unsustainable. And to be fair, West Ham's defence is quite poor, which is why he's on the bench because Arsenal's defence is so strong. I would rather face Wolves at home than Fulham away, but when you look at the clean sheet odds, Arsenal are right up there and West Ham aren't, and when you look at the defensive qualities, you can see why. Moving on to midfield, Semenyo's got Ipswich away, which is a very favourable fixture. Then it's West Ham at home next game week. Just like the defence, they've got favourable attacking fixtures. Newcastle have got Leicester at home, then Ipswich away from next game week. There's absolutely no way I'll be benching Isak against those promoted sides. Next up in midfield are 2 premium midfielders. It has meant that I've not gone for Saka, but these 2 have paid off as well. I actually prefer the triple Arsenal defence and having these 2 players. I think if I went down the route of getting Saka, the sacrifices that I'd have to make in defence and in midfield and throughout the rest of my team with budget distribution, I actually think I'd be worse off. I didn't plan on captaining him in any game week and that's why I've not got him in. Otherwise I would bring in a premium midfielder or a forward for that reason. I don't think Saka's necessarily a bad captain option this game week, but I think Salah, Palmer and Haaland are better options. A lot of content creators are saying that Salah's a straightforward captain pick this game week. That is certainly not the case, and you'll know what I mean if you watch my best captain video. There's some unseen stats in there that no one else has covered, and they are quite game changing in my opinion. Penultimately in midfield is Matoma against Leicester away. This is yet again another easy fixture. So far he's capitalised in 2 out of 3 game weeks, and I do expect him to score or assist in this one. He has got promising underlying stats. In fact, all of my attackers have, otherwise I wouldn't have picked them. Lastly in midfield is Rodgers. I brought him in last game week and he scored. He's such a good value for money option, and quite a lot of the players in my team are, especially one of my forwards. But I brought him in with Trent, and both of them succeeded. I sold Bruno, who blanked. I also sold Konate, who was injured to be fair. If you look at my midfield, you can see why I've got such a big benching headache. I've got some really good players and some very favourable fixtures. Do you know what? If I was suggesting any midfielder, I'd say any of these, whichever fits your budget. It was only a couple of game weeks ago that I wildcarded, and I don't plan on selling any of them. The only one that I would suggest that I've not already got is Saka. I do think he's a very good option. It's just that I've gone down the route of triple Arsenal defence, 2 other premium midfielders, and distributed the funds elsewhere. But of course, Saka is still a great option, and I do recommend getting him if you can. Up front, I've got Jackson, who didn't feature last game week, unfortunately, against Southampton away. Chelsea scored 5 goals. I'm sure he would have had a piece of the cake there, but I am confident that he'll get plenty of minutes this game week, and I think it's the other way around for Isak. That's why I've benched him. I think he will get rested, at least for some of the match. Initially, Spurs away looks like a difficult fixture, but when you think about it, Vicario's injured, Van de Ven's injured, it looks like Romero's going to be still injured as well. That is actually a very easy fixture from an attacking perspective, and that does feed into Palmer being a possible captaincy option this game week. If I was to suggest a forward that I've not already got this game week, I would consider Watkins. It's Southampton at home. It looks like he's possibly on penalty duties, and he's in decent form right now, but it is Forest away then City at home after that, so I won't be changing any of my forwards. I'm happy with Jackson, who does have the 4 yellow card situation, Isak, and the last one is João Pedro, who I think is the best value for money player in the game. He got me an assist last game week, and it's 3 easy fixtures in the next 4, so I think he'll get plenty more attacking returns, and it looks like he's on pens as well. As a disclaimer, this is being recorded before the press conferences, so this isn't a locked-in team. I am rolling my free transfer right now and benching Isak, but either or both of those might not happen. Make sure you follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, to see my final team reveal, or even on Patreon to get even more benefits. There's some unseen stats in the best captain video that I think will make you rethink your Game Week 15 captain. Make sure you watch that if you've not already. I'd argue that it's the most informative video that I've ever made.